not my bag, bro.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim and I want to thank you for joining me as always. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CWF Mini Arcadian. This is going to be a brand new 14500 powered titanium flashlight from the legends over at CWF, and a lot of you have been anticipating this release for quite a while, being that this is the first time that they've ever done a light in this size. I could see why so many are so excited. This is an excellent little light, so sneak preview, I really like it. It's going to review very, very well. So, you're going to get a COA card, you're going to get that package in a standard cardboard box, and the light. Now, what I'd like to do before I begin the review process on this is I want to thank my sponsor for this video, and that is going to be bladeandbeam.com. And the owners over at Blade and Beam, Dillard and Rachel, were kind enough to send out a big box of stuff to me. If you caught the unboxing, you saw just how much crazy stuff was in there, and this was one of them. Now, this is Dillard's personal carry light. He has allowed me to carry it and use it and kind of get a good feel for it before I sat down to review it, so I want to thank him for that as well. And on top of all of that, and the reason why I'm considering them a sponsor, not only because they're sending out great products for me to showcase to you that I really enjoy, but they're going to give you a special discount as well if you use the link down in the video description below, and if you use this discount code. So, if you are already in the market for some great knives or some great lights and they have what you're looking for, now you have an excuse to purchase from them because you get a little bit of a discount. And that's always a good thing. Now we're going to get into the photography and the tabletop review. Flip that camera around and have some intimate one-on-one time with this brand new tiny little titanium wonder.
I need a small flashlight, easy to carry, disappears in my pocket, but powerful and bright. A wall of light to see everything around me. Punch through the dark, it'll light my way. My mommy said it'll be okay. My light from CWF will be my greatest tool to fight the darkness. Scary things in the dark, but I won't be afraid. With my trusty flashlight, I'll be unafraid. Shining bright, keeping evil at bay. Guiding me through the night, come what may. I'll be fearless with my light by my side. My light from CWF will be my greatest tool to fight the darkness.
So who is CWF Lights? For those that are newer to the flashlight, the pocket torch world, these are American-made flashlights by Mr. Charles Wiggins, who has been doing this for a number of years now and has created some of the most popular and sought-after small pocket torches in the entire segment. Now, a lot of people are big fans of the Arcadian. Now, there is a Mini Arc, or a Mini Arcadian. And it's something that people have wanted for quite a while. Pull this out. This is the slot where the battery would be shipped. Go ahead and close this up. For knife guys, yeah, that looks a lot like a Hinderer box, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay. So again, as I mentioned in the intro, and it's worth bringing up again, these are available at bladeandbeam.com, and they are the sponsor for today's video and allowing me to bring out some cool stuff I could not have otherwise gotten my hands on because Charles Wiggins doesn't know my name. He has no idea who I am, doesn't know that I exist. So it's not like I could reach out and go, hey man, I think your products are awesome. I'd love to get a chance to review one. Can you send me one of your $500 lights, please? That works in some cases, and in many cases it doesn't. And with custom makers, it generally does not. They're going to go, who the hell is this guy? And that's totally fine. So what you're looking at here is a 14500 powered light. So basically it is a AA sized battery, which, as I mentioned in the unboxing, is kind of like my Goldilocks size. I love 14500 sized lights. I really, really do. This is the tactile turn. This also came from Blade & Beam. They're letting me borrow that, and I thought it was good to bring out for a comparison. The Ace Beam Polka Light AA, which has been extraordinarily popular in the industry, but it's a wildly different price point, and this outperforms it by a significant margin. And then I have a Convoy T3 in my collection in the Mal finish, the MAO, which I'm a big fan of. And of course, my Raylight LAN Apple. So when I say I like 14500 lights, I am telling you the truth. I think it's a fantastic size. It's slim without feeling too skinny and odd feeling. It takes up very, very little room in the pocket. They're obviously very short. And when they're done right, with the right LED selection and the right driver behind it, you can actually get a pretty powerful light. Now, what you're not going to believe if you're newer to lights is that we used to get excited if there was a new light on the market for $400 or $500 that was 250 lumens. That was a big, big deal, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. That was huge. And this is in the days when Mac lights were big, when Macgizmo pretty much ruled the world, and I still think Don has some of the finest products in the world. But yeah, 250 lumens was insane because that was that transition period where we were coming out from flashlights that were designed in the 60s and made throughout the 80s and 90s that were big, giant multi-cell lights, that were C batteries, D batteries, that were yellowish, and they were incandescent bulbs. They were terrible quality, not terrible quality, but terrible beam quality, and just not very bright. So when you went from a light that could have had maybe an output of 50 lumens that you paid $200 for, and it was the size of one of your leg bones, and all of a sudden you could have a pocket light, albeit a fairly large pocket light, but a pocket light that would give you more than 5 times the amount of light. It was amazing. And then we started seeing prices climb because at that time, it was only these custom guys, these custom machinists that were doing this kind of stuff, right? Then we started seeing lesser expensive brands coming out, and they were pumping up the volume. They were giving more lumens. They were giving more candela. And it started crowding the market, and it created more competition, and it bred more innovation. And then lights started getting smaller. Some got larger, of course, yes, but some decided to go smaller. And this is a great example of that evolution. So here is a palm-sized light that's very easily pocketable. It's 100% titanium down to the clip and the screws. You've got a sapphire lens. You have an Achia 219C, and the temperature is at 5,000 K. So it's a nice white light without being too cool, too odd. A lot of people cannot stand white lights. They want something warmer. I prefer a little bit warmer. 4,000 to 5,000 K is where I like to be because your depth of field is greater. And your CRI is generally better. The actually being able to tell one color from another with the human eye looking with one of these lights is going to be better definition. This is 520 lumens. That's where I was going with all this, by the way. I'm sorry, I kind of went off on tangents. We used to get excited if we heard 250. This is 520 in a little double A sized light. That's fantastic. And that's quite honestly as much as you're likely to need. If you need something bigger, you're going to carry a significantly larger light. If you know you're going out on the lake at night, or you're going out in the woods at night, you're probably going to carry a significantly larger light. You're a security guard in a pitch black warehouse. You're likely going to carry a larger light on your belt. But for everyday tasks, you're running around your house without the lights on, or the power has gone out from a storm or something, this is perfect for indoors. Matter of fact, you're probably going to kick it down to its medium mode and probably not be firing it all the way up at 520 lumens inside of a white-walled house. And outside in the yard or out in the pathway or taking your dog for a walk, this is going to illuminate a nice area around you, because what you've got here is a very versatile flashlight. You see the very deep dish, fully polished reflector that's in there. And that means it's going to have a little bit of throw, but it's also going to have a nice amount of spill that's going to give you usable light all the way around you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change the angle on the camera right here, right now, so you can get a better feel for what that beam pattern is going to look like, and we'll compare it to a few of these others, just so you have an idea. Before we get going on that, can I just say the craftsmanship on this light is fantastic. One of the two biggest downfalls of having a full titanium light is the feeling of the threads as you unscrew and screw the head. You'll usually feel it feels gritty. It can sometimes gall and just lock up. This feels so wonderfully smooth. The threads were cut beautifully in the head and on the body, and it just feels wonderful. Really nice craftsmanship, and I really like the ergonomics on this as well. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go through all of them. Okay, so here we have the low. Medium, and that is a big jump from the low to the medium. And then we get to high. So what you're seeing is a nice, clearly defined hot spot, and there's a bit of a corona around that, and then lots of spill. That's what I was talking about. You're going to have lots of light, because this is only 2.5, 3 feet away. So when you shine this on the ground around you, you're going to have a nice spread that is going to give you lots of light to light up your path. And it's got a decent amount of throw. Now, I have no way to measure the maximum distance on the throw. As I edit this video, I will check the CWF website. This is so new that they may not have the Mini Arc on their website yet. And I'll see if they list what the throw is. Let me go through this again. So we have the low. This is definitely the moonlight. Then we'll call that low. Then we'll call that medium. Okay. So I was on medium that whole time. That's actually the high. My goodness. That is fantastic. Now let's compare it to this tactile turn. Now I've not done this. I may be in for a hell of a surprise. Okay, the tactile turn is definitely a lot warmer. You can see that this is a lot cooler. This is a lot closer to 4000K. This is a very, very similar beam pattern. Not quite as bright as the CWF. The Mini Arc definitely has a little more power coming out of it, but that's also going to be, it's playing with your head because it's a cooler white. It's always going to seem brighter. Now let me put it up against my Wonderful, my lovely ray light. My ray light is cooler. Look at that. That is a significant difference. So I'm going to have to say my ray light's probably closer to 6,000K. I haven't looked at the specs for a long time. So the moonlight is a little bit brighter on the ray light. Not a fan of that. I like a very dim moonlight. Let's kick them each up one notch. They're pretty even matched on the low. The medium, pretty evenly matched. But again, with my ray light being a cooler temperature, it's going to appear a little bit brighter. And then on the maximum, now I don't have that corona around the hot spot on the ray light. It's a very, very gentle transition into the spill, and then a pretty significant cutoff over here. Whereas here, you're not going straight into that soft spill. You definitely have a corona of light, and then it goes off and starts tapering off gradiently into that spill. And then here you see that cutoff. Now, the second thing, because I had mentioned there are two things at play when you're considering making a flashlight in titanium. One is the fact that you've got to get your threading really, really, really well done. The other thing is titanium heats up faster than aluminum, and it does not dissipate heat as well as aluminum. And that's why CWF offers most, if not all, of their lights in the options of aluminum and in titanium. So, if you've been looking to get the smaller sized, thinner 14500 Arcadian, this is going to be the way to go. Now let's get outside and play with this light in the dark and see how it performs. I don't know what your expectations are for a 14500 or AA size light, but this, I'm certain, is going to exceed whatever those expectations may be. Now, as I cycle through here and get into the medium mode, you see that even medium is allowing me not only a lot of light around my surrounding area, but it gives a good amount of throw that I can look up into a 30-foot tree at the very top and have no issues whatsoever. Now, even here on that lower mode, I can walk around, I can see the path in front of me, I can see what's off to the sides around me. Good amount of spill. I love the beam pattern on this light. Kicking it up gives me more throw than I would have expected from this size of light, and it does everything that I personally would want it to do in an EDC light. Getting way on up there at the top of the trees. I've got some very tall trees in my front yard, and I gotta tell you, again, it goes back to a light this size with this power source, being able to throw the way that it does. It's not a thrower, but in its ability to punch out the way that it does, you just can't help but be impressed. So, Mr. Wiggins, my hat's off to you. You have created a light that looks good, it feels great, and it has excellent performance in such a tiny little package. Anybody looking at getting one of these from Blade & Beam, you're going to be very, very happy that you did. And realize also, they're sold out everywhere else, but Blade & Beam has still got some left. I want to thank you guys as always for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.